Hello, beautiful people. How you doing? Mic check, mic check. Shout out to everybody who's here. I see a lot of people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm here on time. You're so sweet. It's good to see y'all. How you doing? Hit that like button if you'd be so kind. Much appreciated. It's good to see y'all. Happy almost Friday. We're on day 33, post oral arguments. So we're suffering together, but we've got some things to talk about. I hope everybody is doing well. Shout out to all of the members and subscribers here on YouTube and on Patreon and the supporters on Substack. Shout out to everybody who has copped their pre-sale Bloodlines and Bloodlines signed second edition and Exhibit A soon to come. And shout out to the best mod squad on the internet. If you are chatting, make sure, or following along with the chat, make sure you change your settings from top chat to live chat so you can catch all the good foolishness. The agenda has evolved since I started it yesterday. Got several things to talk about. In a sense, deleted post over at Complex. Drake let it be known that he didn't appreciate the conversation we had about him just the other day when we talked about the fact that people buy tickets for spectacle. It becomes a cycle. We had the whole conversation about the tour fails and et cetera, et cetera. He's very displeased with you, yeah, and maybe me. I'm sure it's purely a coincidence. I'm sure it's purely a coincidence that this was posted. And then I clicked on the link. Somebody posted this in the Discord. I clicked on the link to the post because I thought I was clicking on an image. And it was like, this page is no longer available. So just once again, for the sake of posterity, Drake's mad at you and maybe me. Oh, God. Ooh. If he didn't do piece of shit things, then he wouldn't be a piece of shit. It's simple math, Drake. This is his morning mantra. This is his morning mantra. Oh, God. Oh, God. Every morning that he unclips that waist trainer. It's the fact that I clicked on the link and Instagram was like, this is no longer available. I said, oh, let me go back to the Discord and take a little screenshot then. We said what we said, sir. Oh, oh, oh God. I, I honestly wasn't even going to say anything about this until I clicked on the link. Because I was like, what else could I was like, let me fill in some fun stuff. And I went and I clicked on the link. And once it was like no longer available, I was like, I'm going to need to cop that. Oh, 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 God. I'm not scared of you motherfuckers. Well, that was great. That was fantastic. Hit the like button. Those likes need to be, 1-to-1. Boy, if you don't pull yourself together. Good Lord Almighty. Good Lord Almighty. All I said was... all I said was... it must have been the comparison to J-Lo. He must have been like... He probably said abso-fucking-lutely not and then got mad that he said abso-fucking-lutely. He said, call somebody. You know what's hilarious to me? It's Complex, who he names in his lawsuit as in cahoots, that posted, said, statement, which I take as a full-throated and then redacted rebuttal to our conversation the other day. Just a great moment in channel lore. Yeah. Well, said what I said. Pull yourself together. Pull yourself together, bro. Pull yourself together. It's the fact that, link not available. I said, oh, must be feeling some kind of way. He said, I want her to see it, but what if she sees it? I want her to see it, but I don't want her to see it. Baby, you should know by now. You should know by now. This is what we doing. This is how we starting off the day. This is how we starting off the day. Yeah. He knows that what we said is true. He knows that what we said is absolutely true. He knows. Yeah, wasn't even on the agenda, so it's definitely MBI time. Yeah. Yeah, this is why I was late. This is why I was 8 minutes late, because I was like, I'm gonna need a graphic for the people. Why you telling Peter so Paul can hear it? That's that bothered, unbothered shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's feeling real sensitive. Drake has a lot of feelings. Josh Johnson. Drake has a lot of feelings. And he didn't appreciate that one bit. He didn't appreciate it at all. So I hope that you all take some time to sit down and reflect. Think about what it is that you've done. Okay? Think about other people's feelings. Think about how your words make them feel. That's very important. You have to be very intentional with your words. When you say things like, people buy your tickets just so they can watch you fuck up. Low ticket sales, you don't have it together, you don't work hard. Okay, that's not true. That's not true. And guess what? Sir? Multiple people have gone on the public record to say you don't treat them well. I feel pretty damn proud of us. He's the most bothered, unbothered person in history. Oh, I want her to see it, but I don't want her to see it. That is official channel lore from now on. Since he don't give a good goddamn about whether or not that's actual fact or not, we're not gonna bother ourselves with that either. Okay, we claim it, we own it, we're proud of it. Thank you, sir. Pull yourself together. Rosetta, every accusation is a confession with this man. If Drake ever watched an ABSA show, he'd be in shambles. Hence, I want her to see it. I don't want her to see it. Look at me. Don't look at me. Is she looking? Don't look. S Consulting. Should we put ourselves in timeout? Because I can do that. You have my full permission, beloved. You have my full permission. I mean, technically, he's on a tour right now. Technically. Yeah. It for me, it's that happening yesterday and then this happening today. I said, now, why you do that to that boy? That was supposed to be his little, what do you call it? A PSA? Isn't that what he called it? A PSA ahead of Iceman? Where'd it go? Why'd you take it down? Where'd it go? Where's the PSA? It says PSA right there. Drake with a PSA. Ahead of Iceman. That's what it says. Boo, where'd you go? Hit him again, Kenny. Hit him again. Now, this is on the agenda. Wow. Oh. That's good. That's good. That's so good. Oh, gosh. He's mad at us right now, or whatever little pathetic minion is watching this and taking notes and is going to have to update him on today's show. It's like, fuck. They just turned PSA into piece of shit announcement. Oh, God. According to channel lore, yeah. According to channel lore, yes, it is. Did you read Drake's lawsuit? How attached to facts is he? Why should we be attached to facts here? We can just make them up out of context. Next to context. This is my self-righteous. Yes. Context adjacent. Yeah, we in a medium black interlude just clowning this fool because this was posted and then it was gone. Or at least the link that was posted in the Discord. I'm sorry. Instagram said, I'm sorry, that page is no longer available. I said, oh, this is really satisfying. This is really satisfying. And we need a good laugh. You know, we need a good laugh. We need a good laugh. And that is a good seg. I thought it was important to include his, his profile picture. And then this morning, we woke up to a whole new thing. You know what I think? I think it's distinctly possible that if there is going to be I thought about this based on the conversation we had the other day about Joseph Naughty Bottoms when we were talking about quarters and releases and things like that. If there is going to be a, what's it called? A deluxe GNX album. Is that the correct term? Did I get it right? It's a deluxe album, right? Because they're on tour till like November. But I could really see that coming before the end of the year if such a thing exists. I could definitely see that coming before the end of the year. I do think that Kendrick potentially, that pgLang potentially has a lot of IP that is waiting, at the very least, for a solid dismissal. You know, at worst case, a settled situation. Worst case, a trial. But when I say quite often, I don't think Kendrick cares. I don't think this doesn't have, I don't think this has any impact on him. I'm referring to like him, the man, as a just a absolute individual. I'm not referring to the businessman. Um, we know that they recorded the pop out. We know that I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick is actually being filmed right now in private and we don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this whole situation behind closed doors is being filmed, is being documented in some way. So yeah, I do think pgLang. I don't necessarily think the movie with the South Park creators has anything to do with that. I think that was purely movie logistics why they shifted that. But I think pgLang probably does have some IP that is, potentially temporarily or midterm impacted by what is happening. It's another reason why I really want this situation to go away. But nevertheless, we woke up. We woke up and we got a video and we got an announcement, and it's all over. What I love to see, this is what I love to see. I love when I see somebody in the business section, like saturated in the business section. And this is not the first time in the past few months that he has saturated the business section of the news market. And that tells you something about the relationships, reputation, and contacts that they have been cultivating over this 5-year process to put this thing together. I just want to remind people, pause. I just want to remind people that you're probably going to hear very loud noises that sound like something is falling on this building. And I'm probably not going to react to it. And you're going to be like, why isn't she reacting? It's fighter jets. So it's that week here. So anyway, I just heard one take off. So I just wanted to put that out there before it starts to get crazy, because it is going to get crazy. Hopefully they don't break a window and I don't have to stop the damn stream. It's going to be fine. It's been fine every year. So, yeah, pgLang has launched Project 3 agency and, well, overall company, but agency. There is a video that has been posted, a creative video. And like I said, this is getting a lot of news coverage. So I'm going to read to you from Fast Company, written by Casey. I worked on this last name. Casey Ifeani, I believe is how you pronounce it, but I may be wrong. I picked this article because Casey is a brother. And he wrote an in-depth article. When Kendrick Lamar and his longtime creative and business partner Dave Freed launched pgLang in 2020, it was under the banner of an at-service company for creatives. It was enticing, if somewhat mysterious, modus operandi that led to inquiries in droves. However, the pgLang team quickly realized they didn't have the infrastructure to offer their services broadly. In the beginning, there were more internal projects, including producing Lamar's music videos and concerts, as well as smattering of brand work with the likes of Cash App, Chanel, Calvin Klein, and Gatorade. But they didn't have the bandwidth to operate at scale. 5 years later, They do. Project 3 is a new venture within pgLang designed to expand creative resources for businesses. And under the umbrella of Project 3 sits Project 3 Agency, a full service agency providing creative direction, content creation, production services, and brand design and strategy. The creation of Project 3 Agency was powered in large part by the acquisition of international creative studio Frosty, a frequent collaborator of pgLang's over the years. That is. Explains so much. They acquired an international company. That explains so much. That explains so much. For us, it was like, how do we build foundational structures for the business so we can last long term versus trying to do too much at once and being bogged down, says Dave Free, co founder of pgLang, on the 5-year road to Project 3. And as we developed, we didn't want to alienate ourselves from commercial business. We wanted to figure out a way to walk hand in hand with these companies and give them information, but also learn as we're working with them. To be sure, pgLang has already been producing work for brands along the way, scooping up 6 Lions Awards. I had no idea. They're killing it at Cannes, including Independent Agency of the Year in 2023. While pgLang can be considered the parent company overseeing and aligning all external ventures under a unified vision, the creation of Project 3 and Project 3 Agency allows the team to direct their focus solely towards other companies. And in those efforts, they feel uniquely positioned to fill a void in the creative agency industry. I could weep tears of joy. I've spent a significant amount of time working in the creative agency industry. That's what businesses go through. That's what nonprofit organizations go through. That's what elected officials go through. That's what, agency, you name it. If they can put the money together, get somebody else to put the money together, that's where they're going to go to get wraparound 360 services for whatever the thing is that they want to do. And the significant decision that I made when I started this channel was to walk away from the status quo creative agency here. We see brands now, and one mistake can have you questioning your existence or the audience questioning your purpose, says Cornell Brown, an executive at pgLang and Project 3. For us, there is a confidence that we can bring to this. We have tentacles in so many places, touring, music, when we're creating merch, when we're creating art. We have so many inputs that there's a confidence that comes from seeing all of that around you. That is facts. That is facts. Both Dave Free and Brown see Project 3 superpower in helping brands rediscover, or in some instances, find for the first time their true story and purpose. Oh God, I'm having flashbacks. Yeah, because everything is a brand. Everything becomes a brand. When you want to, when you have goals and objectives that you want to reach and you need to put together the assets for that, you are therefore developing exactly what your brand is. It could be you, the individual, it could be your company, it could be your organization, it could be whatever, but everything becomes a brand. And yeah, it's finding the true story. It's working on what is it that you actually want to accomplish, what actually really serves that, and what needs to go. There's a lot of that. What needs to go and what needs to be remolded to actually help you present in the form, create and present in the form that will get you to all of your goalposts and objectives to reach your goals and desired outcomes. Oh God, I'm so dead right now. This is so incredible. Oh my God. Okay. Brands who will utilize us best are going to be the ones who aren't coming for a one-off campaign. They are coming to us to realign strategy and to align them with their purpose. Oh God. That ethos. That ethos is baked into the name of the company as Project 3 is a nod to the three pillars of storytelling, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Ah! Sir, 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 sirs, can I give you your own high five? High five. I'm bulletproof. Thank you so much. Mm. The goal is to give brands a foundation for long-term success. Oh my God. The goal, Dave Free says, is to give brands a foundation for long-term success. When I look at a brand, I'm not thinking about how to get them to the next quarter. I'm thinking about how to get them to the next 10 years. Oh, I could cry. I'm trying to make the best thing that they've had that becomes reference material for all other companies. Oh my God. Because you know what I'm good at? I'll just got to toot my own horn here. I'm just going to toot my own horn here as I'm very good at setting industry standards. Yes, I am. Yes, I'm very good at that. Uh, Kiki, man, the way I'm seeing people respond to this is exactly what I was talking about when I said Kendrick fans can't let him be successful without mentioning Drake. Just let Kenny be what he is. Just let him be what he is. We can have more than one face of hip hop at the same time. We can have more than one. Y'all get it up there. 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 I wish the best for them too. You guys are hilarious. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. You know that means that I would leave you forever, right? I would leave you forever. Yeah, we need to make that the standard. I already have the email address. What I look like. I'm sure they're being inundated as we speak right now. And I'm not going to be a part of that wave. And I don't have anything to say to them. And I'm learning this with you right now as I'm reading it. So hold your horses. Hold your horses. It's all actual contact information. Oh, baby, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, but I don't know what I'm gonna do, so I haven't even thought of it. So yeah, I haven't thought of it, and I don't know enough. And that would be a long-term thought process. That's not something that you just are like, here's my resume. That is a long-term thought process. And I don't know if I even have the immediate urge. I have to go away and think about it. Just be yapping. Thank you. Beautiful. Appreciate you. Project 3 is literally how to be more like Kendrick for dummies for those who need it. Salute to pgLang. Salute to them for real. Thank you for becoming a member. I am Shishi or Shay Shay. Either way, thank you, beautiful. Welcome. Yeah, this is, I'm almost 50 years old. So I think about things deeply. I think you all know that. I think about things deeply, and I have to figure out if this is even a puzzle piece that fits into the things that I am currently thinking about deeply. That's step number 1. That's step number 1. And that's not something that's gonna happen like that. Let me go ahead and trying to figure out if it's coming closer. It will again. They're Drake got him circling me, y'all. He got him circling me. I would love it if you emailed me liveabsa@gmail.com. If you do, send it to me if you decide to do it. So, yes, this is very exciting. Just in general, this is very exciting. It does make my soul sing and do a little happy dance because I'll tell you what, I remain exceptionally proud of all of the work that I did when I was working alongside, you know, an industry agency. Um, and I love that process. I absolutely love the give me a project. I love the process. And I love that. I love and intentionally worked with an agency that tried really hard to um had a lot of success. I'll just say had a lot of success, but it's really hard work when ultimately people bring you something and you do an evaluation of it and you tell them that it needs to change, even when they're like, yep, okay, let's do that, it's still a very difficult process. And it's a 360 process. It is a 360 process. And it starts at such a basic, fundamental level of the 3 pillars of storytelling. And hurry up. Okay, hold on. Okay. It's great to work for an agency that is saying our mission is not to work for or with an agency that understands that they are in a position to not simply create a veneer for your brand, that they are actually in a position and have the resources and talent to actually structurally, materially make the thing better. But that comes with remolding. And it is an extremely rewarding process. But even when everybody's like, yep, 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 thumbs up across the board, it's hard. It's hard. It's very hard. Oops, sorry. This is the weekend we are in. They arrived yesterday. And unfortunately, it's blue skies in Seattle. Well, actually, fortunately, I'll say fortunately, it's blue skies in Seattle. They're doing the high show. Otherwise, we'd be hearing what we heard earlier every 30 seconds because they'd be practicing the low show. I'm sure they are going to do some practice of the low show because it may get cloudy over the weekend. This is just notorious Seattle weather curse. The days before an outdoor thing is supposed to happen, the weather is glorious. And then the days the outdoor thing is happening, the weather is shit. Yeah, it's really hard. And that's even if you're dealing with like a static thing. If you are dealing with a crisis campaign, depending on the crisis, that could be a 24-hour a day situation. So it can be and it's dynamic. What you molded yesterday, you may have to remold, 5 times today and then remold it again tomorrow. But it all has to maintain the form and integrity of change work, really, impact work. So when it's more than just, oh yeah, let's just make a pretty campaign for this thing. But it's, how are we going to know and measure that we were truly successful? And making those key performance indicators realistic but aspirational at the same time, so that you do have to reach for them and work really hard and really stretch yourself and work really hard with the people around you. And that's one of the best parts of the process, is the people that you work with and their talents and skills and expertise. And watching and being a part of all of those minds coming together at the table at the same time is magical. It really is. Hold on. No, his trainer died. His trainer died yesterday. Boy, that one sounded like it passed by the window. Jesus. I'm doing my best, y'all. I'm doing my best. But no, I don't see anything about Mike Tyson, and I've looked in extremely reputable, would have it pretty much right away places. I don't see anything about Mike. But his trainer, yes. So yeah, shout out to them. I mean, that's really exciting. The acquisition of an international company. There are so many things that make so much sense to me now. Go away. I'm not going to stop it every time. I'm not going to mute it every time, but when they like come straight over, I will mute it. But around, they're around. I can't do anything about it. Great. Good. 'Cause I can't, yeah. We here. Okay, we here. Check on some things. Okay. All right, so that's that on that. Want to take just the quickest second to give an update. I failed to say yesterday when we were having this whole conversation about the DOJ meeting with Maxwell and asking her about over 100 people, et cetera, et cetera. I failed to say that Congress wants her to testify in a hearing. This has been going on for a couple weeks now. And so she said, well, give me immunity and I'll testify. And Congress said no. So then she said, okay, that's fine. I'll testify if I get a presidential pardon. So she has officially put it out there that she wants a presidential pardon. In addition to there being allegedly serious conversation about Diddy potentially getting a pardon, yesterday Diddy filed a motion for the judge to either acquit him or grant him a new trial. He's basically saying flat out that he was not convicted of what he was charged with. Basically. So, just a quick update. That's it. We don't really need to talk about it. I just, tracking the things as the things are happening. Okay. I'm going to put another filter on the microphone and see if that helps. No, you got that right. You got that right. Yeah. Yeah. So, had no idea. Had no idea. You'll have to do more research. I would imagine if pgLang has a wiki. I don't know if they do. If they don't, they'll be getting one in short order. But that might be a place to check and see. I mean, he basically already is. He still pardons people. Sometimes you hear about it because it makes a splash. Other times it's kind of buried, but he still pardons people. So who knows? But I just wanted to lay down that clarifier and we can move on. Is there a member, a YouTube channel member, who wants to pick where we go next? Don't say Gilbert Arenas, because that's going to be long, and I have to do multiple things, so we're going to leave that for last. So that leaves Shay Shay or the WNBA. Any member want to hop in? YouTube member? You don't have to super chat. Just I can see your membership badge. Huh. Look at that. You asked for this is all I'm saying. So don't get mad at me. I really just try and make the graphics, specific like. Oh no. Oh. Oh no. What happened? Is it not accurate? Is it not accurate? We all get it, right? We all get it. We all know what we're talking about. That's what we really talking about. We ain't talking about ESPN fired him. Duh. 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 You know what I am so grateful for? What I am absolutely so grateful for is the forced separation of Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. That makes me so happy. Just I think that's fantastic. That's the greatest thing to happen to sports television. Period. Don't have anything else to add to that sentence. Yes, yes, yes. Fuck this man. He got sued for $50 million. And I knew something was up because he never responded to the lawsuit. I never said anything, but I was checking the docket in Nevada, and I can't remember who, excuse me, we emailed. It wasn't Tony Busby. It was somebody else to ask. No response on the docket. Is there going to be a response? And didn't get a response. This was some time ago. So I had a feeling something was up and that they were in negotiations because he never came onto the docket. So he got sued for 50. He settled. It's cash. I'm going to say she got at least 10 to 20. And now you out of a job. Aw. Aw. You had to pay her $23 million. And you out a $100 million contract. It couldn't have happened to a more deserving fella, as far as I'm concerned. Him and his lawyer. Do heads. Both of them. Both of them. Do heads. That's a big fumble for somebody who don't even play football. Bam. A bar. I'm bulletproof. Also, the way that he was still going on about his stupid little podcast, that's going to be his thing now. That's his main thing now. I'm side-eyeing everybody who went on that show since she filed that lawsuit. Everybody. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You couldn't pay me money to sit across from that Maine Coon energy. Ain't no way. He wasn't the only one. Many people tried to tell him. So go and sit down and learn your lesson. I hate traditional sports commentary on any medium. Television, podcast, radio. It is all trash. It is all filler trash. Nothing taught me this more than the fucking pandemic. I was like, what are they even talking for? Why is your show even on? There's literally no sports happening anywhere in the world. Why? Except New Zealand. You don't cover New Zealand sports. Why? Why is your show still on? My former partner listened to sports commentary and oh God. Aside from not being able to keep his dick in his pants, that was the worst thing about him. A fool and his money will soon part, and they have. And they have. And yeah, couldn't have happened to a more deserving fella. But he's still gonna be on that damn podcast, yucking it up. Yucking it up. Maine Coon energy style, and we will never discuss it. Ever. Ever, ever. Ever. Patooey. Tomato, tomato, tomato. Okay. Multi-generational warnings. Multi-generational warnings. Really, it goes extremely hand in hand with this. It really does go hand in hand with this. If you don't know, a couple days ago, oh, it's not that close. If you don't know, a couple days ago, somebody threw a lime green seesaw time toy onto the court at a WNBA game. And I'm gonna just go ahead and not even really I'm not gonna argue with people who say it's funny, okay? I'm not gonna argue with you about whether or not it's funny. What I am going to suggest you consider as a matter of fact is that it is also very much actually sexual harassment in the workplace. In some places, you can be fined for that. In other places, you can be arrested for it. It is an overtly misogynistic message. I just saw video of some white man at another game, courtside. They had to stop the game for something, I don't know what it was, but something that he said to a player. A woman, he's at a WNBA game, stopped the whole game. And he had a Caitlin Clark shirt on. And he looked like a grade A asshole. Super proud of himself being escorted out. Super arrogant. This chirpiness at the women in the WNBA because they want more money and they have vaginas. Because they play on a basketball court and they have vaginas. Because they speak their mind and they have vaginas. Because they flaunt themselves in their shit on social media and they have vaginas. Because they talk shit on the court and back it up, but they have vaginas. Basketball is a non-traditional workspace. That is a field traditionally dominated by men. I'm putting you on game right now. for what constitutes as a safe workspace as defined by the feds. Probably the state where this happened has such a definition as well. So imagine that this were another kind of non-traditional workspace that is traditionally held by men. Imagine this were a construction site. And you're showing up to the job or you're leaving the job and somebody has left one stuck to the hood of your car. That's that's intimidation and is sexual harassment in the workplace, whether it was done by an employee or not. It creates a hostile, unsafe work environment. Because the message behind that is, this is what you're good for. And that objectification, the specificity of that type of objectification suggests a threat to one's safety. Because you are dealing with somebody who has decided that they are defining what your body should and should not be doing. That is on a spectrum of somebody who will then touch your body or try and impact your body in some other kind of way. This is proven. It's a continuum. So I understand why they reacted the way that they did. And I understand why the majority of public is acting the way that they did. And there are some people who are like, this is WNBA gay and da 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 da, and we getting down and da 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 da. Abso-fucking-lutely not. That should not be your reaction. There is a very slow but very intentional, man-driven rise in hostility right now at this moment towards WNBA players. Men are on some either shut up and dribble or shut up and suck my tiny tangerines. That's not okay. It's not okay. T-Mac, beautiful. I'm so glad you're here. I got the gift card. I got your note too. To paraphrase. I'm fucking hopping pissed about them chocolates. If you didn't get a discount, you should have by now, I would imagine. You should contact, because they told me they were going to do it. So if you haven't gotten it, you should contact Amazon and say, hey. So Jacqueline, thank you. Well, we need your expertise here to teach us the difference between law and feelings. Somebody got to do it. I mean, at the end of the day, imagine somebody did that at your job. Imagine it happened more than once. Am I speaking from personal professional experience, not direct experience? Yeah, I am. Imagine you leave work from your non-traditional, historically, man job. And there is something intimately explicit on your car. Every single time. and then they melt one and stick it into your gas can so that when it dries, it's stuck there, sticking partway out. That's beyond just stick it on the hood, suction cup. Now you're doing something else. Now it's escalating into something else. It's not, at the end of the day, funny. Is it juvenile and immature? Sure. And could the person who, did it not have another thought beyond that? Maybe, but nobody knows who did it. So the person didn't get caught. Is that going to embolden them to do it again? Because they didn't get caught. As of yet. T-Mac, thank you. Beautiful. I would be terrified. It is an equivalency. Circumstantially, okay, hear me. Circumstantially, it's an equivalency to showing up on the job site and there's a noose there. And you're the only Black employee, or the only Black female employee, or the only Black non-binary or trans employee on a construction site. And if you're thinking a noose is worse, in context, there's an equivalency there. It should be considered just as seriously. It's not a joke. And if there's anybody on those teams who is actually pissed while everybody else is laughing, they have every right to be pissed. They have every right to say, hey, this is not okay. How did that even get in? Honestly, that's a legitimate question. That is a legitimate question. How did it even get in? It was sizable. Venues should be having a clear bag policy. It's silicone. They stuff it down their pants. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But that's premeditated and it's sick. You spent money on it. You hid it. You brought it in and just waited for the right moment. That doesn't make me feel safe in the workplace. So if there's somebody who is a player who's not happy, people should not be telling them it's not that serious or that they don't have a sense of humor. This is true. Just be yapping. There's a rise in small peen, deeply insecure men acting out across the board right now, all the way up to the presidency. So let me tell you something. I was on the app. Where is it? How many stops away is it? Sitting right here. Where is it? This is another non-traditional field where you have these things happen. Yes. A. Brown, I work in a STEM field that typically employs men. It gets difficult sometimes. Yes. Yes. And there has been a concerted effort over the past decade I know because, at least for here, I helped set some industry standards in writing the policy and creating the curriculum for training and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's been a concerted effort to name and address these things, along with a host of other things, in dealing with the fact that I sound like a freaking, you know, pamphlet right now, but we live in an ever evolving and changing world, right? The workforce does not look like it did 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Those people that are grandfathered in or at the highest levels or the most influential positions within a company, an organization, an industry, they are not always welcoming to, the new generations coming in for various reasons. And they have a lot of blind spots where their policies and procedures are. So there has been an extreme push across pretty much every single non-traditional field to come up with solutions, because you can't retain a workforce. You can't retain today's workforce with yesterday's fucking attitude. You can't retain today's workforce with yesterday's policies and practices. And good old boys nudging each other and wink, wink, and well, if she can't cut it, da 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 da. Well, I went through it. I don't understand why we can't put them through it. There's a whole lot of that too. Why should it be easier for them? It was hard for us. And you have women who are at the journey level who say that. I don't know why we got to do all this stuff and da 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 da. You are retiring in 2 years, Pam. Shaniqua just finished her apprenticeship. She's starting her 25 years. That's why. The Lele lips or the Lily lips. Food and beverage manager, same here. Can't count how many times a coworker suggested we get a room after an event. Yes. Yes. So we have huge blind spots, and we have been conditioned as a society to, first of all, not be able to identify inappropriate behavior or actual sexual harassment or sexual intimidation when it happens. We've been conditioned to, it's a joke, laugh it off. And 15 years ago, that may have been my reaction, but not today, and never again in the future will that be my reaction. I'm not going to make a picket sign about it, but since I'm speaking on it here, I'm going to say my piece, and that's my piece. So that's it. That's it. So, right, exactly. What if someone threw a noose on an NBA court? Are you kidding me? There'd be a riot in the building. There'd be a riot, be Malice in the Palace 2.0. There would be a riot in the building if somebody threw a noose on an NBA court. I would hope that if somebody threw a noose at a WNBA game, the people around them in the audience would have more fortitude in standing up and saying, it was that person. I don't believe that nobody saw this person throw a lime green silicone object onto the court. That defies rationality, but I do believe that people are embarrassed and again are coming at this with a lot of different perspectives on what does it mean, what does it not mean, etc., and don't want to be like it was I saw it was that person. They don't want to be that person in this situation. So, bystander effect, but again, I'm not going to beat you over the head with it. Not going to beat you over the head with it. Down in Dixie, I think you may be a bit behind. You might need to refresh you, but you just chimed in and said you don't know that you don't think that necessarily Club Shay Shay is going to survive. The volume is owned by Colin Cowherd, and he don't play that shit either. Well, here's the thing. I had completely forgotten about Club Shay Shay, period. And I was reminded because of he had some guest, I can't even remember, but it was guest oriented that made it hit my timeline. And I was like, "Oh," and then I immediately thought to myself, besides just, "Oh yeah, this exists," then I'm thinking the case, the lawsuit, then I'm thinking advertising dollars must be going just fine. If you're here sitting here having a conversation with somebody, production crew is together, all this, you've got money. People have to be companies have to be dropping some coin. I think like 4 planes just went over. The reason you saw me do this is because they literally went like, phew, 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 like that was crazy. That was crazy. I think they might have been going back. The airport that they take off from is right here. So the airport where they take off and land and, while they're here is literally on the other side. I'm on the base of the hill. The airport is on the base of the other side of the hill. Um, so I think I heard them just getting ready to go land. It's been an hour. But anyway. Reminded me of my son. Reminded me of my son. He loves planes. I've seen that show. I've seen the Blue Angels everywhere but from the sky. So it's kind of satisfying. Don't lecture me about the fucking military industrial complex and the air shows and shit. Just don't. Okay? I live in the Pacific Northwest. If you think there has not been one emergency lawsuit filed because the planes disturb a woman's cat, you would be mistaken. Okay? There definitely has been an emergency lawsuit filed to try and stop this show because the planes disturb a woman's cat. She don't like it. She's sick of it. So, hey, go ahead and knock yourself out there. Go ahead and knock yourself out there. Obviously, since they're rehearsing, it didn't work. Oh, nope, they didn't land. They're still up there. Okay. Now that we have covered all of that, what am I missing? I am missing something. There it is. Let's talk about Gilbert Arenas. Now, I'm going to be juggling more than I usually do because I gotta go between a document and slide. Gilbert Arenas is a retired basketball player who has been under investigation for several years, as it turns out, according to the unsealed indictment that hit all of our awares yesterday because they arrested that man along with several other people who you see depicted in the graphic, next to me. Yes, quite a few people. You ain't never heard of them before. So I figured rather than spend a dogged amount of hours trying to actually make sure I can pinpoint a confirmed image of the co-defendants, I would just, come up with equivalents that I felt like would do. So there we go. We've got Gilbert Arenas and his little crew. They're in a lot of trouble. And I just want to say off top, I want to know who snitched. Because somebody definitely snitched. We don't know who, but somebody snitched. Ooh, they told. They told. They told all the things. Because ain't no way. Ain't no way that they have all the shit that they have without somebody saying, I got stuff for you. Y'all did that. So, we're going to see if I can do this because I've never done it like this before. Okay. I'm getting my notes. Thank you for your patience. So, excuse me. In the Central District of California, this is a federal case, and I have the June 2025 grand jury indictment, which I will say for the record, it does say on the electronic filing that it is a sealed document, but it's publicly available. And I know they unsealed the indictment yesterday, so I have it. This is the United States of America versus, get ready, Yevgeny Gershman, Evgeny Teresky, Alan Austria, Yaron Cohen, Arthur Katz, Gilbert Arenas, Ivan Kratchen, and Valentina Kojokari. Now you're like, I don't have the foggiest idea who those people are. Just hold on. They are being charged with conspiracy, operating an illegal gambling business, making false statements, marriage fraud, false statements in visas, permits, and other immigration documents. And the feds are going for criminal forfeiture. And yes, this down here at the bottom is a photo of the Arenas Poker Club. I don't know what all those little things are right there, but I'm super curious to know what they are because there's so many of them. I don't know what they are. So, according to the indictment, okay, I didn't make this up. Here's our cast of characters. Don't they look swell? Don't they look like decent, good, but well, except for this guy down here, but we'll get to him in a second. Okay, so here are our visual equivalencies to help y'all follow along. According to the indictment, Gilbert Arenas. Hold on. Okay, Gilbert Arenas, aka Agent Zero. This was his nickname in his little alleged illegal gambling operation. That's what they called him. That's what his little friends called him. And he has a real good special buddy named Arthur Katz. Now, this name could have gone either way, and I really wasn't comfortable, trying to pick out an avatar for him, so I left it like this. The rest of the folks, though, pretty fucking clear. This is Mr. Tervesky, also known in the little crew as Eugene. This is Alan Austria. He also has a nickname. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's what they called him in the little crew. This is Yarn Cohen. Doesn't that look like a Yarn Cohen? I think it does, aka YC. This is Mr. Cratchin. Doesn't he look enterprising? He sure does. He looks eager. Yes, yes, yes. He was the alleged chip runner. So I thought, giving somebody, making him earnest. Doesn't he look earnest? He sure does. And this is Valentina. Yes, yes. And this is Valentina's husband, Mr. Gershman. Now, you might be wondering, why is that flag there? And am I just being a hater? No, beloved, I'm not just being a hater. This man is a known Israeli crime figure. Hold on. The other thing that I should say is, so I live in a valley, okay, in between two plateaus, the hills. So the airport's right there, and then the other side, the other plateau, which is right over here, just a couple blocks on the other side of that, that's where they do their show. But we're gonna get through it, beloved. Okay, so yes, this is Mr. Gershman. We're gonna hear a lot about Mr. Gershman, and Mr. Gershman is known Israeli crime person. So, okay, here we go. We're gonna jump around this document. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I'm gonna get us good and going. Beginning no later than on or about September 12, 2021, and continuing through at least on or about July 20, 2022 in Los Angeles County within the Central District of California and elsewhere, defendants Gershman, Tervesky, Austria, Cohen, Katz, Arenas, and Kratchen conspired with each other and with others known and unknown to the grand jury to operate an illegal gambling business. The object of the conspiracy was to be accomplished in substance as follows. Defendant Arenas, that's that Agent Zero, would rent out a residence located on Gable Drive in Encino, in California, of all the places. Wow. For the purposes of hosting illegal poker games. Defendant Katz at defendant Arenas' direction, would stage the Gable House to host illegal poker games, find co conspirators to host illegal poker games at the Gable House, and collect rent from the co conspirators on defendant Arenas' behalf. Defendants Gershman, Tversky, Austria, and Cohen, and others known and unknown to the grand jury, would manage illegal pot limit Omaha, PLO, poker games, among other illegal gambling games at the Gable House. I just want to be clear, there are federal laws specific to pot limit Omaha, like specific laws for that. Airplane. To profit from their illegal gambling operation, defendants Gershman, Tversky, Austria, and Cohen would collect a rake. That's them there. This is the why I've got the little money bags on the graphic. Would collect a rake that is a fee the house would charge from each pot, either as a percentage or a fixed amount per hand. Gershman, Tversky, Austria, and Cohen would invite players to illegal poker games at Arenas' house. Defendant Gershman would hire young women. There we go. Yes. hmm Right there. Yeah. Who, in exchange for tips, would serve drinks, provide massages, and offer companionship to players at the Gable House. Defendants Gershman, Tversky, Austria, and Cohen, that's these fine gentlemen here, would charge the women a tax, a percentage of the women's earnings from working the games. Gershman, Tversky, Austria, and Cohen would hire chefs, valets, and armed security for the illegal poker games at Gilbert Arenas' house. Defendant Cratchin would work as a chip runner at illegal poker games held at the Gamble House, in which capacity he would track players' winnings and losses, distribute poker chips to players, and pay employees. Okay. Now, we're going to hop around a little bit. We're going to hop around a little bit because there's like 40 overt acts in this document. The document isn't very long, but there's a lot of overt acts. And I'm giving you enough examples for you to understand that they got this from somewhere. They got this from somebody. The photo that they have of the gambling table in the house, they got that from a person. This man is so screwed. I cannot begin to tell you how incriminating this shit is. We're going to start off easy, but remember what I said about there being distinct federal laws about PLO games. In the gambling world, this lingo is known. Also, think to yourself, who attended these gambling parties? On September 12, 2021, defendant Katz texted defendant Arenas to ask whether he was still planning on doing your own game, to which defendant Arenas replied, I might throw PLO games at my house, referring to hosting illegal poker games at the Gable House that he owns, he said in a text message. I might throw PLO games at my house. Overt act number 2. On October 8, 2021, defendant Arenas texted defendant Katz the Gable House would be available to host illegal poker games. The amount of rent defendant Arenas wanted to charge for hosting the illegal poker games, and the number of games he planned on hosting at the Gable House per week. October 26th, a special day. While discussing staging the Gable House to host illegal poker games, defendant Katz texted defendant Arenas a picture of a poker table with the words "The Lion's Den" printed on top of the table. How'd they get this? I'm just so curious. How'd they get this? Rhetorical question. Overt act number 4. On November 10, 21, defendant Arenas texted defendant Katz a picture of a gold-trimmed poker table with the words Arenas Poker Club printed on top of the table and the image of a basketball player with a jersey labeled Arenas wearing the number 0. Remember, his nickname in this little club, this little club he got is Agent Zero. Overt act number 14. On February 17, 2022, defendant Tervesky texted defendant Cohen a pay-o sheet showing the amount of rake, the tax charged, and the expenses incurred to host the illegal poker game. Oh, that's not Cohen. I made a mistake on the graphic. Sorry. And listed the illegal poker game's partner as YC. Oh, I guess that is Cohen. He said, here's the paperwork. I'm just going to go ahead and text you the pay-o sheet showing the amount of the rake, the tax charged, and the expenses incurred to host the illegal poker game. And then listed all of them. This is cut off, but it goes on to list everybody under partners. Everybody. Cohen, everybody. Overt act number 23. On May 24, 2022, defendant Gershman sent text messages to a woman asking her in coded language whether she was open to engaging in paid seesaw activities at his illegal poker game at Gilbert Arenas' house that night. Overt act number 24. Defendant Gershman sent text messages to a woman inviting her in coded language to work at the illegal poker game at the Gable House that night and explaining in coded language that he charged women 25 to 35% of their earnings from working the illegal poker game. Overt act number 44. On the late evening of July 19, 2022, and early morning of July 20, 2022, defendants Gershman, Tervesky, Katz, Cohen, Austria, and Kratchen operated an illegal poker game at the Gable House, which included approximately 26 players and over a dozen staff, including armed security. 26 players? Really? Interesting. I wonder who those could be. Wow. Nobody in the basketball world has ever been known to gamble before. So it certainly can't be any of them. Hmm. Gosh, where did they find these people to come to these games? Hmm. Oh, that's a misplacement. My bad. Okay. Gilbert Arenas is charged with intentionally lying to the federal government. And this lets us know how long this has been going on. Let me make sure I got these in order. Oops, wrong way. Oh, I didn't get them in order. Okay, so let me do this. Okay. On or about September 9, 2022, in Los Angeles County, within the Central District of California, in a petition seeking the return of funds seized by Homeland Security investigations on or about July 20, 2022, from a master bedroom of a residence located on Gable Drive, Encino, California, Gilbert Arenas' house. And in a matter within the jurisdiction of the executive branch of the government of the United States, namely the United States Customs and Border Protection, defendant Gilbert Arenas, also known as Agent Zero, made the following materially false statements and misrepresentation to the United States Customs and Border Protection, knowing that this statement and representation was untrue. Defendant Arenas falsely stated that he was not involved in whatever was going on at the party, referring to the illegal gambling at the Gable House on July 19. In fact, as defendant Arenas then knew, defendant Arenas had knowingly provided gambling equipment at the Gable House to be used to host an illegal poker game on July 19, 2022. Had knowingly rented out the Gable House to be used to host the illegal poker game on July 19, 2022, and was collecting rent from the host for operating an illegal poker game at the Gable House on July 19, 2022. You know how they know this? Because I read it in the indictment. They have his text messages, emojis and all, about how much he paid for equipment and how much money was owed to him on the rake, or if he wanted the rake to go to a specific person. They have all his text messages to somebody saying all those things. Now, you might be wondering where this fair lady comes in, and it's an aside, but we're not going to exclude her. She's one of the indicted parties. She's married to Gershman. Okay? Valentina Kojokari. She's married to Gershman, the Israeli crime dude. Okay. Beginning no later than on or about February 4, 2022, and continuing to the present in Los Angeles County, within the Central District of California and elsewhere, defendants Gershman and Kojokari knowingly conspired with each other and others known and unknown to the grand jury to commit marriage fraud in violation of Title 8, United States Code Section 1325. You know why? Because Gershman was not a citizen or a resident of the United States of America, and he needed a way to stay here so that he could keep this little gambling club with Gilbert Arenas and their other little criminal friends and whatever other criminal enterprise he's involved in going. They call him an alien in this document, and they go through all of the things, all of the federal documents with various federal agencies that point to fraud. And do they have their text messages? Of course they do. Is it in the grand jury indictment? Yes, it is. This boy is screwed. He is screwed. There was one game, one poker game where he was texting, his little crew members and saying that he wanted the rake to go to the mother of one of his former partners who passed away or something like that. Like, just the detail and specificity that they have in the indictment is, as you saw, pretty damning. So he paid $50,000 bond. He's out. His next court date is in September. Baby, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Somebody told. He was not involved with the thing he put his name on, Arenas Poker Club. They got text messages from him complaining about how much money he's put up to rent all the equipment for the game, and such another crew member needs to hurry up and pay him back, and blah 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 blah. He is all the way 1000% in this, and they searched his property years ago. They took money. He had the gall to go back to the feds and say, "Give me my money back." Nigga, are you crazy? It's in the evidence locker. What are you thinking? And while he was down there submitting his paperwork, they said, "Hey, let's holler at you for a second." He was like, "Sure, no problem." Went in, sat down, lied straight to their faces. That is a federal crime. So somebody told, I don't know if we'll ever find out who, but somebody snitched because how, Sway? They got pictures of the inside of your house. Shit. They got everybody's text messages. For me, it is saying in text messages, I want to host PLO games at my house that I own. I want to host explicitly illegal gambling at my house. Okay. Kiki says probably one of them young girls who was getting underpaid to massage retired basketball players with bad breath. It could have been anybody. It could have been anybody who finds themselves hemmed up. It also could have been somebody who's already attached to the feds. These men, this cohort of whatever, they were the ones advertising the poker games. So who is coming to these poker games? These people are not attached to basketball. They don't have those relationships. So if they're texting all of their contacts, these white men who are not American are texting their contacts, game here, this time, blah, 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 blah. Who the fuck is coming to these games, bro? How did you even get caught up with these people? What are you doing? What are you doing? Look at this. This is ridiculous. What are you doing? Somebody texted you. You still thinking about hosting games? Oh, explicitly, I want to have the most illegal ones at my house. What's his name? I can't remember. Gershman. Gershman just filed something this morning asking the court for a reconsideration on release and detention conditions. You got to have a good ass reason for that. I want the most illegal game you've got. I want the most illegal game you've got. Listen, if you were using actual words compiled, with the English alphabet and these text messages weren't solely just coded in emoji, bro, you're fucked. They're the feds. What are you thinking? Coded. Give me a break. The feds are like in a coded message on this day at this time. This dude sent this lady a text message that very clearly said, you want to work, you want to engage in these specific activities. And we gonna charge you a percentage of your earnings. You must have lost your fucking mind. No off top. 25 to 35%. No. You can have a 10% booking fee and otherwise stop looking in my direction. You must have lost your damn mind. That's a good one. The stormiest cloud. That's a good one. They were coded in Pig Latin. I don't know what. You know what? You're right. You're right. You're right. He's crafty. You're right. He's crafty. Wow. Wow. Our toadfish. Wisdom didn't even bother chasing him. Oh, God. I felt that one. This is why these niggas need to stop going on these podcasts and telling their stories and stuff. Kiki, he is a known gambler. He said they used to gamble in locker rooms and pull guns on each other. Then there's that. Anybody feel like they got scammed in any kind of way? That's just dicey all the way around. It's just dicey all the way around. So are we going to follow it explicitly? No. We going to keep an eyeball on it for interesting, developments? Probably. Probably. I've always wanted to start a little sports segment on here, and we definitely had one today. We had 3 sports-related stories in one live. That's wild. I hear your argument and do not disagree. Ma'am, I would state for the record, pure arrogance. I would like to submit the picture of the table as evidence. Yep, there's a receipt attached to that table. You had to have that made. And they definitely have receipts for equipment that's rented and delivered. They have receipts for, wait staff being hired. They have receipts for paid security being hired, paid armed security. Do you know where the majority of people come from who provide paid armed security in the United States? They don't come from our community. Man is a dumb. I think they're finishing up. That one sounded slow. Sounded real slow and calm like. Um, child, now I didn't go looking for that. I didn't go looking for that. I'm sure they talking about it today. Yeah. Kiki, I'm just saying, I could imagine him telling people in person, "You wanna come to my poker nights?" It's nothing crazy, just a few friends. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I am still gobsmacked that he put in a text message, "I want to have PLO games." Why did you have to be that specific? You didn't need to be that specific, dog. What happened to y'all's coded language? He said, "I wanna do the PLO games at my house." Bruh, help me help you. Shit. Look at me. Even my little quips are sports related. Damn, I'm good today. I'm bulletproof. It's funnier if you think of him inviting them to Okerpay Eitznay. Off duty and retired cops, and then also people who are, European. I'm just going to leave it there. European, not from here. I'm going to leave it there. I was just inviting some friends over to play Grand Theft Auto. Yes, there's a casino in the game. What of it? What? What? Huh? Gilbert. Huh? Oh God, that's exactly how I see it going. Gilbert. Huh? Oh, you too dumb for this, bro. You too dumb. Yeah, stop talking. Stop talking. I know some people are sweating today. The other thing that I think is really interesting is I just wonder what the hell has been going on in between then and now. Yeah, that was pretty slow. Um sounded like a whisper comparatively. Sounded like just a whisper. Um Oh my God, natural St. Lucian gem guess the Brit. Now the problem is the guess is in a list. It's not one answer. The guess is in a list of guesses. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Someone guessed the Brit. How did this happen? Mm, mm, mm. Mm-hmm. Somebody guessed the Brit. It's shocking. I know. Let me tell you something. Let's actually, excuse me, focus on the real right now. Some of y'all had a meltdown. If you see something on the post tab and it doesn't make any sense to you, what you should consider instead of "she crazy" is, I don't have the proper context to understand what this is. Okay? You should maybe, you know,
Think about that. Just let it slowly drift across your mind. Just a suggestion. Oh, you know what? This might be it. I might change my mind based on that alone. Abso-fucking-slick. First of all, this is a sick graphic. Put some respect on my name. But also, yes. Natural St. Lucian gem 21 minutes ago on the But Who is the Brit Though video has technically correctly guessed the Brit. Oh, that was fun. I don't remember this. Oh, yeah, no, it's not him. It's not him. I mean, no objection. And here's the thing. When I said to people's guesses, no, 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 aside from the ones who are very young, which is just a full stop no, not even a consideration, I don't have any objections to the seasoned gentlemen's names who have been tossed out. I don't have any objection to them. They just weren't the answer. And Pinnock is not the answer either. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Okay, has anything new happened in the last 2 hours and 9 minutes and 18 seconds that we've been talking? Also, I just wanna say a special shout out. I meant to say this at the beginning, but I got distracted. Like I said, I was late because of the Drake. I want her to see it. I don't want her to see it post. I meant to say at the beginning of this that I just wanna give a special shout out to people who support this channel who are also decoders or otherwise support We Are Deciphered for coming through in a clutch when they needed it most and helping to, bring them back to all of us. I listened to a majority of last night's live and tapped into the chat a couple times, and I will be on the channel with the fellas not this Saturday but next Saturday the 9th. And we're gonna have a wide ranging conversation, but I just found myself experiencing, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, just a tremendous amount of gratitude and contentment about, um or not about, but while gratitude and contentment while being in that gathering space of that channel. And so shout out to everybody who did that. Y'all are fantastic. Y'all have definitely supported me when I need it. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. All right. Anything else going on we need to want to talk about? I mean, I think we covered quite a bit, as a matter of fact. And we had a good cackle in the beginning, and I'm gonna rewatch that over my lunch now that it's quiet. I definitely would have had this live at a later time, but I have a meeting in 11 minutes. So, my apologies to y'all, unfortunately. I'll have to look at tomorrow's schedule and see if I can move it on down the road a couple hours. We'll see. Again, I apologize, but this is what I could do today. Joy Badass and Jid losing momentum. Kiki, the Jays are down bad. You know, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. I mean, Jid's got 8 days to release, right? He's August 8th. And Joey is just Joey. I mean, I don't have anything to add from what I said when we talked about this yesterday. I don't have anything new to add on that. Jid, I keep getting reminded that's one of the things that happened in the live last night is they started talking about Jid, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." I keep forgetting. Obviously, we're not just going to collectively forget and not listen to it, but it's not something that I this is unfortunate, okay? But it is true. This is the state that we're in. I have more anticipation and a radar for Iceman than I do for I can't remember what the name of it is. God do like ugly? Or God does like ugly? Is that it? Kiki says, I've seen several people saying Jid is going to release a generational album. I have seen some bombastic wordage. Yes. They said the same about the Carter 6. Yes. If it's like the Prelux, which child you already know, it's not going to hit for me. I was just about to ask this. We got one single, didn't we? Before the Prelux? This is why you know who he needs to work with? Project 3 agency. This is what I mean by we had a conversation some time ago about the Prelux and him splitting focus into several things. Remember, he's got the Snake Oil album coming out in 2026. Then he did the Prelux, and then he's got the actual album. But I feel like somewhere in there before the Prelux, didn't we get a single? Or was it just a one-off? Hello, beautiful. That's part of the Prelux. This was before that, wasn't it? I feel like there was a song. There were football players. Wasn't that actually album related? It shouldn't be this difficult to figure out. I'm gonna need him to hire pgLang Project 3 agency. Strip it down, bro. Strip it down. Strip it all down. Build back up something. Oh yeah. You think that was a one-off, so we got no singles. I only have a peripheral knowledge of who that person is, and we're gonna leave it there. They did not. They not really. Not for him. Oh. Oh, yeah, I definitely didn't listen to this. This was a single? Kiki says Bodies is an Offset song. Gosh darn it thinks that Work is a single from the album. Kiki thinks it might have been a one-off. And again, it shouldn't be that difficult for us to know. He did this. No vest. No, I'm just kidding. He did this. I almost called it Dreamland. Oh my God. I almost called it Dreamland. Lord, forgive me. Dreamville, right? They did this or didn't do it. Put a finer point on it. So Kiki says Bodies is an Offset song. The Eminem song was a Death of Slim Shady throwaway. Midnight Snack. I don't think I can name a Jid song. I know I can't. I don't have a that's more to do with me than necessarily him, but I know I can't. And certainly not nothing that he has done gets into my master rotation of music or onto a special playlist. So, you definitely ain't there for me. You have to graduate from I listened to the album for the sake of listening to the album to this has staying power. Because my master playlist is like decades deep and it accumulates. I update it. But you got to be good to make it there. And you got to be good to then make it from that onto a playlist where I'm going to hear you on the regular. What are you saying? What are you talking about? Huh? Nothing? Okay. Well, then shit, nigga. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm a sacred high five myself for that one. High five. I'm bulletproof. This comes down to investment. Joey didn't get a rollout hit. Joey's album was supposed to drop tomorrow. None of us knew that. And I didn't see if somebody answered yesterday or not. I threw out the question, did the song that Joey performed on, was it Kimmel? Was that a new song? Sam's owner says he should have done a rollout like Clips, at least some interviews by now. This comes down to investment. I saw him pose with some shoes. I saw him post some, we gonna get the Hotep cipher going at 1 p.m. pull through type shit. I do not want your bean pie or your homemade incense. Sir, I'm not doing that. I'm not pulling up to cipher to listen to your low raps. I'm getting back to the people. Okay. Joey Badass dropped a single and the song was new. Well, that's something. Well, I guess that's something. Yeah, but his album's not coming out. We talked about this yesterday. He was on social media 2 days ago, mad because his album got shelved. So we had a detailed conversation yesterday about like he's probably pretty panicked right now cuz if they don't think your album's going to go this quarter, baby, it only gets rougher throughout the rest of the year. for you to go and perform well for the label. So, and I'm not emphasizing that to you. I'm emphasizing that to him. Um, he's trying to do a push play, to force a hand that has already slapped him down in the corner and told him to sit there. So, I don't think it's gonna work. Me too, and I've talked about this too. I've talked about this too. You gonna have to come up with a persona. You have to come up with a public personality. Even when I saw what I said previously about, I saw him pose with some shoes. I said here, and I also said in the Discord, I don't believe him. You don't look like you really care. You don't look like you wanna be there. You don't look like, and you could be having the time of your life, but there's nothing about you that you could be using as tools of communication that are conveying any emotion at all. So if you don't care, why the fuck do I care? I don't. That again, this is something where impart rely on professional support to help you out, but we've had this conversation several goddamn times. We don't know who the fuck doing what over at Dreamland. That's what I'm gonna call it. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it Dreamland because these motherfuckers got to be delulu to think that they cannot do shit and get an album to go and stay. Not flash in the pan type vibes. Go and stay. Can you compete on the charts with Tyler, the Creator? Right now. Can you compete on the charts with Clips right now? Fuck it. Can you compete right now with GNX? We'll just give you one song. Luther. Can you compete? No. It's our rhetorical ass questions. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nova loves music. My impression of Jid is a dude that just stays rapping. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't expect to expand. Don't expect to expand. If you want to get to an echelon that you've never been to before, you're going to have to be prepared to do things that you've never done before. And part of that is developing a public personality that people can relate to and can feel, have feelings about. I'm telling you, Project 3 agency. This is a Project 3 agency project. JID needs 360 help in all facets when it comes to what? His brand. So, baby, can you compete with Ice Spice at this point? We don't know. We don't know. But I don't believe that, we've got a generational work coming. We've gotten several. And that's a high bar. It's a really, really high bar. I think you might have to go back to tomorrow's conversation to get my full thoughts. First of all, I don't think that labels like to invest in marketing, period. I think they prefer to invest in gimmick. What Rock Nation is doing with and for Clips right now is, it's the combine of rollout and promo. TDE also did that for Doechii. Even though Tyler, the Creator, gave people exactly 36 hours or what, some stupid shit for Don't Tap the Glass, when it went, it was fully packaged. There was a website, there was merch, there was this, there was that, there was a whole aesthetic, and he's doing interviews, da, 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 da. So he had been putting in the work behind, we just didn't know. And when it was all 360 ready, he dropped that shit and it exploded. When I saw Skip hold up the physical album the other day, I was like, oh my God, because, and we talked about this with the Snake Oil Gold album. And as a matter of fact, we talked about this with the Clips press as well. The availability of a physically pressed record, the proximity of availability of that physical piece of media to release says a lot about pre-preparedness and investment to get you there. That's why JID is telling people right now, I've got an album on sale that's fucking gold. You can't, there's no playlist, there's nothing, and it won't be available until 2026. Okay, Kickstarter, I see you. So, to get back to answering your question, there's two sides to every drama, and Joey has turned this into a drama by taking it to social media. And he says he's had long-standing issues with his label, and so a lot of people just hop onto the man is holding you back. And my question is, let me go, what are your relationships lacking there? What you been doing, beloved? What you been doing? Do they like you? Why don't they like you, the person? But yeah, for the rest of it, there's chapters. You can hit the conversation from yesterday to see what I and others in the chat said. It's all good, beautiful. It's all good. Was it yesterday, chat? Or was it day before yesterday? It should be in the title. Joseph Naughty Bottoms. You should see him in the thumbnail. He's in the thumbnail for sure. So you should be able to find it. So JID comes out next Friday. And we'll see. Sounds like Drake's album is coming based on his, post via, or his statement to Complex that they, looks like, potentially took down. And I don't know if that's true. We don't have a date. I don't know if we don't know if UMG's actually going to release his album. Like, there are a couple artists that really do have big old question marks over their heads. Until we actually see it and it happens, we just don't know if it's gonna. We just don't know if it's gonna. You're welcome, beautiful. Yes, that was him and what's his name? Was that Party Next Door? Yeah, so yes, he did that, and he's on that tour now, and then he's got Iceman. The Iceman cometh. Thank you, Demetrius. That's what these songs that he's been dropping have been from. So If and when it happens. If and when it happens. Yeah. Oh, shit, I'm late. I gotta go. Oh, shit, I am late. I gotta go. I will see you all, probably tomorrow. I will try and work my schedule around the Jets. But, oh, shit, I'm late. I gotta go, beloved. See you soon.